Well,
later.
let's bring
But
Top Dollar on because
yeah.
he knows more about this than we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
there
what'd
he
you do
goes.
there?
He's back.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, man, how are you?
What up? What up? What up? What up? I heard
How you
what y'all was
doing?
talking about. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you that
Well,
right
no,
now.
but I've never met Vince McMahon though.
Yeah, I only
Like
met him like
you.
3 times.
Right. Oh,
Oh,
have you really? That's it?
Yeah,
That's
I worked for
interesting.
him more years than I met him.
Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy. So how you been?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm on the road. I'm working. I'm getting to have fun. I'm making a lot of money. It's a good time to be alive.
Are you making
oh,
more on your appearance fees, or are you making more on the merch, doing indies and stuff?
Well, it depends. It always depends on the event. It depends on the city. It depends on the show. I definitely make more in my ventures outside of wrestling than I do in anything wrestling related.
Really? Yeah. What are you doing
Yeah.
outside of wrestling exactly?
Cheez-Its pays me more than any wrestling promotion ever has, so that's great.
What do they pay you for? What
wow.
you got a promotion deal with them?
Yeah, I did the Citrus Bowl with them, and they had it was a big event, 7 million viewers on ESPN, great time, and yeah, I got a partnership with them, trying to get something worked out with them and TNA for pay-per-views coming forward. But how business is. Everybody's got to understand the good things coming. So it's hard to get people to see the light sometimes, but
Well,
that's the plan right now.
me and Conan have seen the light before with you, and I was surprised that you're not continuing with WWE because we were wondering why was your YouTube content that you were doing on your own that was like really good stuff and everything. Why were they not putting were you showing that to them and say, hey, like, was there something they considered putting on the show? Because it really would have helped you out a lot.
I think the reason it wasn't put on the show was because it would have helped me out a lot. I think that, they definitely saw it. There was plenty times where they actually, not plenty times, there was 3 times out of the 50 videos that I made that they asked me to make them, and then I made them. Like, for example, one time in particular, they asked us to diss Ricochet and Braun. So they asked us on Friday. I On Saturday we all shot the music video. I had a drone shot. We had McLarens and all types of dope cars in it. It was a crazy music video. They said they wanted it to be a minute. It was 59 seconds. It was everything that they asked for. It was done by Sunday. On Monday, they said, we're going to put this on the show Friday. And then come Friday, they were like, we didn't have enough room for it. And yet the show
For
finished.
a 1 minute awesome video.
let me
Yeah,
ask you a question.
and the show finished 3 minutes early. Yeah, I know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What do your friends call you, AJ? AJ?
AJ, yeah.
All right, AJ, let me ask you a question. Did you feel, now they don't do this as much as they did before, okay? Because they're more business now, but they still do shit that put people in place and, you're kind of in the doghouse. Did you feel that at any moment when you would give these videos and they say, oh, we don't have a lot of time, somebody or somebody's were out, didn't like you for whatever reason and were out to make you fail? Did you ever have that
I
feeling?
mean, it's hard to not have that feeling
Right.
when, I'm making those
Bro, I've
videos
been
every
there.
single week. You know what I'm saying? I'm making those videos every single
Right.
week.
Right.
I'm posting them on my social media. And then on the times where they ask me to make them and I post them, like another example, they asked me to do one for the OC and AJ Styles. And I made that one and I dropped it on all my social medias Friday morning before SmackDown at noon. But in the 8 hours between noon and when SmackDown started, it had over 2 million views across all platforms. And so it was absolutely a success. It was exactly what they were looking for. We had the match with the OC. They beat us. AJ Styles gives me the phenomenal forearm. It's a huge segment. It's one of my favorite things I ever did while I was on SmackDown. And then it just nothing ever came from it again.
Plus,
So
you gotta think somebody in WWE was watching everybody's YouTube numbers, and they had to have seen you were doing really good. So did you feel that maybe somebody didn't want you to get over?
I mean, that's what Dave Meltzer said, ain't it? Ain't Dave Meltzer said
I don't
that
care
I had
about Dave
powerful
Meltzer.
enemies?
What did you think? Well, you're not there anymore. You don't have fucking
He got the inside scoop, you know what I'm saying? He said I got powerful enemies. That's what he said. Me personally, like, I had a good relationship with Hunter, had a good relationship with Paul Heyman, had a good relationship with Michael Hayes, had a good relationship with Michael Cole, had a good relationship with Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan and Dan Ventrell. A lot of people that have a lot of power there.
And somebody had to like you to bring you in the first place. But the problem is WWE, as you know, AJ, and
it only takes one person to not like you.
Well, here's the thing. This is where I think you were, okay? Especially from mid to the ending of your contract. So Michael Hayes has his favorites, Hunter has his favorites, they all have their favorites, right? And everybody in that group knows you don't touch those guys. Everybody else is free game, and I think you were in the free game thing where they didn't give a fuck what they did with you, and you got bro. And here's another thing. I know you were listening to the podcast, and I don't know if you ever heard me say this, but I really felt at the beginning when you first came in with that group, you didn't have a lot of chemistry, and you guys were acting too hard to be cool, and I really didn't like the group, right? But you could tell you had a lot of charisma. And then when you sent me those videos, I was like, bro, this guy's got charisma and a half. Plus, you're always out there promoting yourself, which is very important. Taking advantage. You just came off of WWE, and that's such a big entity that everybody knows, right?
Yeah, Konnan, I'm just like you. I'm a promo guy, man.
Right.
I'm one of the best promos in the world. And right. I'll stand 6 feet away from anybody on earth with a microphone and dare them to tell me I'm not. Okay. Right. But I don't get promos on SmackDown.
Right.
I think
they had you rapping, right, for a while.
No. Like we did, in the year plus that we were there, we did one rap segment, which was a week after we got back.
Right.
And we cut 2 15-second promos, and that's the entirety of what we ever did in front of the crowd on TV for over a year.
Bro, let me ask you another question.
Wait, hang on.
Before I forget, because you'll talk long and I'll forget, bro. Remind me if I'm right or wrong. When you threw that tope and you felt you get your feet hit the ropes or whatever it was, right? Wasn't somebody making fun of that? Like one of the announcers, maybe Michael Cole?
Yeah, well, they made a whole thing out of it, though, didn't they?
Cole would talk about it all the time, but that's because me and Cole were trying to have a match.
Oh,
me and Cole were trying to.
Yeah, because he was totally burying you. Yeah,
loves me. Cole loves me. Cole only talks about people that he likes. That's why he talks so much about Bailey. That's why he talks so much about Austin Theory, because he wants the audience to care about these people, right? So, like, Cole was actively trying to get them to talk about me because Cole knew that if he wasn't talking about me and I wasn't being put on TV, then there wasn't any traction for anything for us to be doing. And also, me and him wanted to have a match at SummerSlam. Like, we planned that out like months in advance. We were like trying to have a match.
They said no.
And no, well, they didn't. It's not that they never said no. It's just they never even like it never even came up as like a concept to them. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Cole were trying to put these things in order, and it didn't work. But at the end of the day, bro, there's a million reasons you could say it didn't work. The biggest reason I think it didn't work is because we never got to cut promos. Because
let me ask you this.
If you look at any of our house shows or any of our dark matches, there's plenty of clips of them online anywhere. We're cutting promos. We're getting reactions from the crowd, and we're getting baby faces over everywhere in the world, from Germany to the United States.
Let me just say this. You either had heat or you fell into that little
No. I want to bring up something else, because we talk about this because it was very interesting. A few years ago, Kenny King, Russo was doing his podcast. He had Kenny King on, right? And Kenny King brought up like a good point that Vince agreed with. It's like Kenny's like, Vince, you know nothing about like black culture and stuff like how do you write for like, how do you write for a black guy? You really know nothing about my background and stuff. And Vince was like, yeah, you're right. My question is like, in that writing room, like you would think that like the room would be like diverse, and that like you have a bunch of writers and people that would like know like the I don't know whether the different ethnic groups or whatever, how to write for like the Latinos, how to write for the black guys stuff. But we've always kind of thought that like the writing room at WWE, and I don't know because I don't know these guys, are kind of nerdy. And I'm just wondering, was there like nobody there that
100
like could just
nerdy.
could write for like a hip hop character, like know
So
what to do? Go ahead.
they never when the problem is they knew that they couldn't write for us. So they never really tried to. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. What I mean is when we were actually given something to do, we came up with what we were going to say ourselves, which is why
Right.
it was always authentic. But because of that, they would also have a hard time putting us in situations. They wouldn't know
Right.
how to use us in certain situations. And also,
Right.
like, towards the last half of it, the whole point was just to make Hit Row a gigantic joke. Like, that was obvious to anyone with eyes, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, we would get, like, I never understood, like, perfect example, the match where I had with Sheamus, well, it was a 6-team elimination match for the number one contendership. And I literally get eliminated by Sheamus in 8 seconds, which I could have been I'm not doing this. This is bullshit. I was never like that. This is a show. Whatever my role is, I'm playing my role. That's my job today is to slide in the ring, get bro kicked by Sheamus, and lay on my back. That's what I'm gonna do. Right? I'm gonna make it look as good as I can in these 8 seconds, which is exactly what I did, which is why it trended for 3 days. But then like I get heat because I'm trending for 3 days and the guys who won the match aren't, but how's that my fault? Like I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't type my name 1,000 times on Twitter. I
Right.
didn't book for me to be bro kicked at 8 seconds and then pinned. Like I didn't do these things. So
Let
like
me
how is that on me?
yeah. Let me ask you this: what's your background before wrestling?
What do you mean?
The pro
Like
football
what's
player.
your athletic background? You
I played 6 years in the NFL.
okay, but give me college. Where'd you go to college?
Maryland.
I went to University of Maryland. I
Right.
played at the University of Maryland. I grew up in Maryland. I went to high school in DC. So yeah, I'm a
Let me
DMV Maryland Baltimore kid.
let me ask you this: how many people they have down at the performance center now? Isn't there like 100 and something? Like it's an exorbitant
Probably
number,
yeah,
right?
probably like 100 something. Yeah.
How many NFL? How
Real
many?
quick, Dad, let me ask you a question that's related to that. We may be saying the same thing. AJ, how did you get connected with WWE to begin with? Because
That's not what I want to ask. That's not what I
you know
ask.
that. Well, I'm half
Joe,
done.
that's not what I want to ask. I want to ask this: how many former NFLers are in that system right now?
That's what I was going to say.
And like what? And what are you guys like? Like how are you guys like?
You mean
cool with
like?
each other?
Do you mean like guys that really played in the NFL or guys that like
Cup of
both?
coffee.
How many from the NFL system are in there?
that actually played in NFL games? I think zero. Guys that were like on training camp rosters
Yeah.
or practice squads,
Like,
like
for
Baron
instance,
Corbin,
Baron Corbin.
Trick,
Yeah.
Trick Williams,
Right.
Braun Breaker, end of list, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting, because remember when the WWE went on this big recruiting tour? They were going after football players. That like I'm like they got like 100, 200 people down there now. It's like you've only got 4 NFLers. That's kind of
And
weird.
you know what's crazy is
Go ahead.
I actually set up a meeting with the NFLPA. I want to say like 6 months ago, trying to set up an NIL situation from the NFLPA straight to WWE. I took that upon myself to set that up.
Really?
I did it at the NFL Trust in DC, and it was something that I wanted to try to actually actively set up. Clearly, I was misinformed and should not have been going out of my way to help anybody.
Jeez.
How
So how
was
did
the,
you get recruited initially? Was it through the WWE going and looking for ex-NFL players, or did you reach out on your own?
No. So I played college football with Bojo Raleigh. He was a senior when I was a freshman. So
Oh, Gronk's buddy, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Right,
So
right.
I also played with Gronk in the league too, but
Right.
I had a bunch because I was friends with him when I moved to Orlando while I was still in the NFL. I had a lot of access to go to a bunch of different WWE events. So one of the events that a buddy of mine, Justin Leslie, invited me to, he used to do social media for NXT. Now he does social media for Hard Rock and Messi. But he invited me to the pre-screening of the Page movie. And when I went to the Page movie, Matt Bloom was there. I introduced myself to Matt Bloom, told him I was in the NFL for 6 years, told him I had just been training at the Team 3D Academy with Devon and Bubba Ray and Billy Gunn and Serpentico and Jay Rios and all these guys. And he was like, all right, well, send me an email. So the next day I sent him an email at like 10 a.m. He sent me an email back at 11 a.m. saying your tryout's in 2 months. So then I went, had a tryout. I went, got a tryout, killed the tryout, and got hired 6 months later.
You played for New England, right?
Yeah.
Bro, okay, I get it. I've never had anybody that I've always been wanting to ask this. The Bill Belichick we see in the press conferences, okay, and the Bill Belichick in that locker room coaching. Well, what's the difference?
The difference is the real Bill Belichick is a human, and the person in the press conferences is a robot intentionally because he doesn't like how the media likes to portray situations and overblow situations and all those things. So he intentionally gives them as little as possible.
Bro,
But
he's great, AJ, because, and I'm going to tell you another guy, you obviously follow sports. You follow basketball?
Yeah, of course.
I love him and Popovich. They give them nothing.
They're very similar.
Right.
They're very similar. I got a good story for you. At Vince Wilfork's Halloween party, he threw
oh my God,
team.
Vince Wilfork, University of Miami. Go ahead.
Yeah, he threw a Halloween party for the team. And I was there shotgunning beers with Bill, Brady, Giselle, all the guys. It was a good time.
That's awesome.
Let me ask you a question. How many, before I got into wrestling, you horse around with your friends and everything, and like you play wrestling and stuff, everything. You're like, you dropping elbows and stuff like the guys. Like, how many guys on the team would you mess around like that?
Oh, dude, that happens all the time. If you go back to 2000, if you go back to the 2016 Pro Bowl, you'll see Richard Sherman giving guys like RKOs on the field. And the reason he was doing that is because that year I was on the Seahawks, and me and him had a game where we could see if we could catch each other in an RKO. Like in the locker room, in the weight room, on the practice.
Like RKO you did RKO out of nowhere.
Exactly. Like you're not paying attention and you just get caught. You know what I'm saying? So it started with me and Sherm, and then a bunch of the guys on the team kept doing it with us, and then he was doing it. He was even doing it in the Pro Bowl, so it was fun.
All right. That's pretty cool. Is Bill Belichick funny? Like, what's his sense of humor like?
Yeah, he actually is. He's like dry humor. He's like Larry David.
Right.
Like he's like he's pretty funny, especially when he starts, getting on something he really likes, really cares about.
Right.
But he really is funny, like when he's talking about like the team that we're playing, like because the way that he sets things up differently than everybody else is he'll be like, the reason he's so good is because he doesn't make his players mold to what he thinks the team needs to be good at. He makes the team good at what his players are good at. Right. And also he does the same thing when we play opponents. So like if the team has a shitty O-line, he'll be in the first meeting of the week. He'll be like, yeah, we're going to abuse these guys. There's some shit like, this is how we're going to beat the hell out of them. They don't know what they're doing. Blah, 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 blah. And we're just in there, it's a good time. So he's a good guy.
So he like the first thing in the meetings each week, he's showing the weakness of the other team, and he just showed, all right,
absolutely.
This is what we're attacking this week. Right.
And that's the difference between him and every other coach I've ever played for. He's the best coach I ever played for. It's because like the first meeting of the week, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, whether it's Monday or Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever it is, the first meeting of the week, everybody on the team understands what the objective is for us, what we're going to try to do, and what we need to exploit from the other team offensively, defensively, and in special teams within the first 45 minutes of the week. So now you got the rest of the week to understand how to implement that game plan, as opposed to building little pieces along the way. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So he's more just like a concept guy and just let you guys run with it, huh? It's like,
Yeah, he's good. He's good, man. He's really good.
Right. Is he friendly with were you friendly with him? Like, is he friendly with guys, or is he kind of still kind of like,
yeah? No, Bill don't take no shit, and he ain't like, if you fucking up, he gonna let you know. He will quick to cuss your ass out or make you run in practice or do up downs, or he ain't no walkover.
Right.
But like, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're showing up on time, you're working your ass off, you're doing the things you're supposed to do as a pro. Oh, he loves you. He thinks you're great. He doesn't care if you were drafted in the first round. He doesn't care if you were undrafted. He don't care where you're from. He just wants you to perform.
So let me ask you. So you were marked for wrestling, but back when you were players. If I was, everybody was. We're all, with the exception of a handful of guys, everybody that's in professional wrestling was a mark for it growing up, right?
Absolutely.
What was it like for you when like the first like week or two, like when you went to work, train and stuff, like when you went into like wrestling, what was that first couple weeks like?
So
Because
I'll tell you what my
I just let me just real quick. I was going to tell you, I picked up everything very, very, very fast because I got lucky. I could hit the ropes perfectly the first time I tried it. Like I was running the rope. I was like, wow. They're like you could. That's one of the hardest things because guys, you
yeah.
know how it is. So some guys to this day still never get it. Where your head and your feet are together. Where your
Mhm.
head and your feet are in sync in that
It's
ring.
just
A lot of
coordination.
yeah, coordination. Right.
Yeah.
But I took the bumps right, and I was hitting the ropes right like the first 2 days. So I was like, so what was it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, same. For me, honestly, wrestlers hate when I say this, but compared to playing football, wrestling is easy. Like,
Right.
the hard part of wrestling is the politics.
Hmm.
The hard part of wrestling is getting people to work with you, getting people to, okay, you've been wrestling for 10 years, but I'm also 150 pounds heavier than you, so maybe we don't trade strikes. Right.
Right.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the hard part of wrestling.
Right.
The actual coordination part, I mean, football is harder than wrestling. I'll give it to you an even bigger example. If I work a 20-minute match, at most I'll bump at most 4 or 5 times as a big man, right?
Hmm.
So that's still a lot for a big man to bump 5 times in a match, right? So
Right.
like, but let's say I do that. That's like 5 plays. A football game is like 80 plays.
Right.
And also on top of that, practice is like 120 plays. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like it's completely different. The thing for wrestling, the hardest part for me initially was just the cardio. Because I went from being on for 7 seconds, off for 30 seconds, on for 7 seconds, off for 30 seconds, to you got to go for 12 minutes. You got to go for 20
Right.
minutes. You got to go. So once you get that down, well, at least for me personally, the rest came easy. Bumping, that was done first day. Running the ropes, hitting the ropes first day. Like, and if you don't believe me, go ask Serpentico. He's on AEW every week. He won't lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Go ask him if I'm lying, right? So,
Yeah.
but to me, you said marked for wrestling. I wanted to be a wrestler before I wanted to be in the NFL. Like,
Right.
even
Yeah.
when I was in the NFL, I wanted to be a wrestler. People would ask me, there's an interview, if you look it up, Omar Kelly interviewed me, and he says, what's it like living your dream being in the NFL? And I'm like, well, I'm living one of my dreams.
Right.
My dream is to be in the WWE. Like that was
Right.
my dream. You know what I'm saying? So like to be able to live a dream like playing in the NFL and then still be like, look, what I really want to do is wrestle. People thought I was crazy. Like people, NFL people, even wrestling people were like, "You playing in the NFL and you want to wrestle? Like what the hell's wrong with you?" You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I got it from both sides.
Right. Cody, you got
Uh,
anything?
yeah. You were talking about football before I went off. I had to restart my computer. But when you were at Maryland,
Mhm.
there's always like any sport. There's always that 1% that's better than everybody else. Just
Yeah,
genetics, work ethic,
yeah.
whatever. While you were in college, give me 2 or 3 players on offense or defense that you played against that you were just like, holy shit, they don't have to be famous either. Because I know
So,
college is pretty good.
so one I played with that is still
Right,
in the NFL,
right.
Stephon Diggs.
Oh,
Stephon
yeah.
Diggs showed up
Uh,
as a freshman at Maryland, and he was this highly touted recruit, and he had this like air of arrogance around him, which it's not. He's not really arrogant. It's just like he's good. So people just like perceive
And
his
he knows it.
confidence as arrogance. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
Right.
So
right.
like, so he comes in as this freshman and he's this highly touted recruit, and I'm a senior this year, and you know what I'm saying? We got a
What
scrimmage.
position did you play, AJ?
Me or him?
You. Oh, I
I
know
played
Stephon.
D line. I played D line.
D-line. Okay.
So I'm a D lineman. He's a wide receiver. They got this play they run called Cardinal Screen, where it's a tunnel screen where like I end up making the tackle a lot of the time. on those plays, just running the ball down. And I'm sitting here thinking, first chance I get it, they call Cardinal screen. I'm gonna take this little motherfucker's head off, man. I swear I'm gonna take it off, right?
Right.
So I'm ready for it. I can't wait for the scrimmage. I'm gonna teach this young boy a lesson, right? Opening scrimmage, he's the kickoff return. He catches the kickoff return, runs it back for a touchdown. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna have to wait. All right, I'll wait. So the second team offense goes on the field. They have to punt. They punt it to him. He runs the punt back for a touchdown. I said, all right, you know what? I'm gonna just let him be. We need him. We're gonna need him for sure.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta worry about him. I'm not trying to put no pause on him. We're gonna need that boy, I'm telling you. So
Right.
that's one for sure. I don't know if you remember Luke Kuechly, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Luke Kuechly played against him. He was at Boston College. That boy we played him 3 times, and in 3 games, he had like 60 tackles. He was an
Jeez.
animal.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
He was an animal. I mean, but like the reason that a lot of people don't know this, the reason Kuechly's so good is he has like a photographic memory,
Right.
like his brain is just overpowered. So
Right.
like he'll literally see the formation you're in and see people's stances and know the exact play that you're running to the point that he'll call it out to the whole defense. And be like, oh, they're running, and I play defense. So I'm standing on the sideline. I'm not even on the field. I'm watching him do this while he's on the
Right.
field. And I'm like, yo, this dude is a problem. And another player he ended up having a good NFL career, but I thought when I played him in college, he was going to be the greatest wide receiver of all time. That's Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins at Clemson was an animal. I mean, he like single-handedly destroyed us homecoming my junior year. I'll never forget that. He was a problem. Sammy Watkins,
did
I
you
thought was
play-
going to be Randy Moss.
Did you play the U during your tenure at Maryland?
I did. We played him once in Miami and once in Maryland. We beat him at Maryland, and we lost to him on like the last play of the game in Miami.
Best player
Yeah.
you saw in the Hurricanes?
Best player I saw in the Hurricanes would probably be, I played with him on the Dolphins. I'd say Olivier Vernon, defensive end.
Wow. Yes, I know.
Yeah, he was a specimen, like an absolute OV. I played with him on the Dolphins, like I said. I'm 330 pounds. I'm one of the strongest D linemen in the NFL. By the time I leave the NFL in 2018, I'm squatting 800 pounds, okay?
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
I'm one of the strongest people on earth, one of the strongest linemen in the NFL, right? OV is 255 pounds, so he's 80 pounds less than me, and he's every bit as strong as I am, and way faster and way more liquid in his hips. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was a specimen.
Yeah. So, do you live in Miami now?
I live in Orlando.
Okay, but you did live in Miami or no?
Yeah, I lived in Miami
with
for
the
3 years. I actually, I was on the Dolphins for 3 years. I'll actually be in Miami this weekend at CCW. I got a Hialeah street fight versus Cha Cha Charlie.
Hialeah street fight. Wow.
Street fight.
That's like
Hialeah.
bro.
Hialeah.
I just
You've
got a
been
feel there's got to be
right?
like a bunch of Latinos like
You've
around the
been
ring,
before?
like
That's
Oh,
great.
there is.
You've been
There's
to
gonna be about
Hialeah
300
before,
of them in
AJ?
the crowd.
Hey, have you been to Hialeah before?
Hell yeah. Me and Charlie I've fought there many times, and I used to go to Hialeah all the time. I love Hialeah.
Let me just tell you, my mom used to live there. Okay.
Oh, word?
So I know Hialeah real fucking well. Okay. They used to call Hialeah High. They used to call it Havana High. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you think if I'm facing Cha Cha Charlie, a Dominican who lives in Hialeah, right? So I'm never more healed than when I'm facing Cha Cha Charlie in Hialeah. Let me tell you that.
Okay, let me just tell you something about Cha Cha Charlie. Just the name alone. Let me throw that out there. Okay, so let me ask you a question because I grew up in Miami. I'm all Miami, just like your DMV. What was the first time you went there and was living there? What did you think of Miami compared to Washington, D.C.?
True story, okay? I had 25 scholarship offers coming out of high school, one of which was Miami.
Really?
I had a visit scheduled to Miami, and the week I was supposed to take that visit, I actually committed to Maryland, and I ended up not taking the visit. Now, knowing what I know now, that I've lived in Miami for 3 years, I would have never went to Maryland, okay? I love Miami. Miami's my favorite city in the United States.
Why?
Well, the first day I was there, December 15th, 2012, I'm training for the combine. I leave Maryland. It's December 15th, and it's 25 degrees in Maryland. It's freezing cold, okay? I land the same day in Miami. It's 75 degrees. I'm like, oh, I'm never going back.
Right.
Not to mention, there is not a greater group of beautiful women in the United States than
Here's the
inside of
greatest
Miami.
part about the women in Miami. Since it's humid, especially in the summer, they're always wearing transparent shit, bikinis,
Sexy outfits,
right.
even in the
And
winter.
you can get your leer on and you can get your perv on too.
Well, that's not. I'm trying to get the number. I'm not worried
Right.
about the leer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
So let me ask you one last question about Miami. Okay. So do you like living there? You had to have eaten Cuban food, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So sándwich cubano, sándwich de bistec, lechon.
Cafecito, yeah.
Cafecito. Let me ask you a question. Did you do the Miami experience where you go to La Ventanita and you get the cafecito?
No, I have never been there.
Bro, haven't you? No. It's everywhere. There's little Cuban bodegas or little supermarkets.
Oh, then
And
yes. I thought you were naming a place. Yeah, absolutely.
No, Ventanita, the window where they give you the coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that because they give you the coffee and somebody will be there and they'll start a conversation with you, and it's just a cool place to converse with people about sports or whatever. You drink your coffee and then you leave. When you come back in the morning, maybe you meet the same guy again or somebody new, and it's a complete Miami experience.
There was one. There was like five. There was one right by my house. I used to live in Weston. I lived in Weston. I lived in Oakland Park.
Right.
And I lived in Brickell. And I used to go to all these. Yeah,
that's money.
Yeah. I had a nice little apartment out there for a while. You know what I'm saying? It was nice.
That's nice.
nice little high rise apartment out there. You know
who used to live there? Eddie Colon.
Oh, I just text Eddie Colon the other day, man.
Tell him. Tell him. Yeah.
You still keep up with football? You still watch it? Still fan?
Me, absolutely. You know what's funny? When I first got into wrestling, I got away from football because like I had lived football from age 12 to 28 and it had overtaken my life, obviously, for that entire time. So like I needed to like cleanse myself of football. But
please tell me your team is the Washington Commanders.
My team is all the teams that I played on, so yes.
Right. Okay. Let me ask you this. How many guys are big? Because AJ's a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. He'd run his mouth a lot about Georgia. He must have been insufferable these past like 3 years. Like, because I know how bad it was back in like him and Cage used to joke because Cage is from Canada. He didn't care, but like South Florida went like 10-1 one year. And him and AJ would always like trash talking about football. Cage didn't really know football. This is a funny story. If you look at Wikipedia, our fantasy football league that I played in that started in 1983, we got credited in Wikipedia for being the oldest recognizable fantasy football league in the United States of America. Like that's how long I've been in love football. But who else is like big? Who else are big football marks? Like I know Seth likes the Bears. Who
what's
else?
funny is pretty much everybody. Especially when it comes to like talking to me because they know I played in the NFL. So they like ask me questions. They ask me about guys because I played with. When you go down the list of people I played with in the NFL, it's actually crazy. Or played for as well, like Belichick, Pete Carroll, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Eli Manning, Odell Beckham, Richard Sherman. Like the list goes on and on.
Odell Beckham's a regular in our club, by the way. He comes every time. He comes to Vegas all the time. He's always in our club, and like every time he comes in town. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Were you there the year that they went to the Super Bowl and they didn't give the ball to Beast
Marshawn? Yeah.
No. So I got to Seattle 2 years after that.
Okay. So you got to play with the Legion of Boom, right?
Yeah, I did. Earl
Sherman,
Thomas
Wagner.
and Cam Chancellor. Chancellor, for my money, is the most savage safety I've ever seen play the game. Like, there's guys people will say, like Ed Reed, You know what I'm saying? He's great. He's an all-time great one of the best ever.
Ronnie Lott. I grew up
Ronnie
watching
Lott,
was in there. Yeah,
Rob
right.
Woodson. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Troy
there's some
Polamalu.
great
Yeah.
ones. Palomalu.
Oh,
I played
I
against
got
Palomalu. Like,
Right.
so
before
like,
I
there's
forget, I
some
got to
guys.
tell you. Let me tell you this: top 3 favorite players for me is a guy that played for Washington, bro. Sean Taylor.
Oh, I love Sean Taylor. I have a Sean Taylor jersey. So like I said, I grew up, I was born in DC. I went to high school in DC. I was in high school in DC when Sean Taylor got killed.
Right.
Sean Taylor in DC is like a martyr. Sean Taylor in DC is like Tupac in LA. You know, it's like, you know
What
what
a
I'm saying?
player,
Like,
bro.
I imagine us because like it was very sad because it was just like a home
it
invasion
was.
you got, and because remember how sad everybody
The
was when Kobe.
shittiest part was how they made it seem like it was his fault for being around the
Right.
wrong crowd.
No, it was just a regular home invasion, right? Then plus
You
two,
know what
one
I'm
was
saying? Yeah,
because
exactly.
it was very sad. But bro, how sad was everybody when Kobe died? That
Oh
was
yeah,
like
that was
bug.
another.
That
That was
was like
worldwide
brutal.
though. That was a
I know it was.
worldwide thing.
Yeah, it was a worldwide. Right?
Bro, you know,
That was
Yeah,
last
worldwide.
week we had O'Shea Jackson on.
Mm-hmm.
Huge Kobe fan and LA Laker fan, and he
Yeah,
explained us how bad it was in LA. You know, it's
yeah, I
almost like
bet.
when Nipsey Hussle got killed.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
all
So
of
I got
LA was
this. I got this Nipsey Hussle tattoo. It's
really.
the
right.
victory lap. Nipsey is my favorite rapper of all time, even though
Did
I'm
you
not
ever
from the
meet him?
West Coast. I never got a chance to meet him, but you know how you guys see my rap videos, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I was doing one every week, right? You guys
Right.
seen these?
yeah.
The first one I ever did was on Nipsey Hussle's Right Hand to God. And the reason I started doing them every week is because the first one blew up. Nipsey saw it, followed me, and was like, yo, you're dope. I love what you're doing. Keep going, man. And like,
Holy
this
shit!
is 5 years ago at this point now, 6 years ago, maybe now. So like, I'm like, at that point, like, it was supposed to be a one-off. Like, it was just something I wanted to do one time.
Right.
And then he said that, and I was like, yo, I got to keep doing this. Like, this is something that I should keep doing. And now, so many people know me just because of those videos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
or like people come up to me in the street and they'll be like, yo, I love your videos you post. Da, da, da. And like, the only reason I was doing them every week was because the first one I did was on Nipsey's Right Hand to God, and he showed me so much love. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
since then, there's been other people that have shown me love for using their beat. A lot of times it's like when I use like, I don't know if you ever saw the one I did on the Godfather's beat for Raw 30.
No.
But like, you know, he's actually in the video because he loved it so much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let,
so
let me
like
ask. Let me ask you a question, AJ. So, give me your top 3 favorite or 4 rappers.
of all time,
Yeah.
Nipsey,
Right.
Biggie, and Jay-Z are my 3 favorite of all time.
Right. No Pac.
And like, no, I mean, for me, Pac is a touchy subject in Baltimore because we know
He
he's from
started in
Baltimore,
Baltimore.
but
Yeah,
he
he lived.
only claims the West Coast. So it's
Right.
like, you know,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You
but
don't
he
want to
is a
give his
legend.
props in that
Yeah.
because
He
he kind of
never
like
gave Baltimore any
right. Yeah.
props.
Right.
Never,
That's yeah.
never.
But you got. But you gotta love his body of work.
Oh
He
yeah,
was
no,
freaking.
he's an absolute legend. He's definitely in my top 10, but not my top 3 now.
Yeah. Ice Cube.
Oh, absolutely. The Death Certificate is one of the greatest albums in the history of hip hop, without
Wu
a
Tang.
shadow of a doubt. Wu Tang for sure.
I'm gonna
Method
give you an
Man.
old group. I'm gonna give you an old group. It might be before your time, but if you listen to them, they're great. Public Enemy.
Oh, come on, man. Chuck D.
Yeah.
Come
That's
on,
just
man. What
you sound more of a fan.
come on,
Let
man.
me ask
A
you a
lot of
question.
people don't
What?
know.
So
AJ, a lot of
yeah,
people
because
don't know.
they don't know because they don't know no better. But the problem is like my dad is Conan. How old are you?
60.
So my dad is 55. So
Right.
like he grew up when hip hop was just
Right.
becoming, you know what I'm saying? He
Right.
grew up Public Enemy and KRS-One and
Right.
Rakim. And you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like these are artists I listened
Bro,
to at
let me
like
tell you
5
what I
years old.
loved
Dude,
about. Let me tell you what
I
I
go
loved
like,
about.
but I'm 56. I go back as far enough to know I grew up with rapping Duke and Doo Brown. And so,
Mhm.
like, you know,
Rapping
like
Duke,
the first time,
Daha.
yeah, like, bro, sometimes I'll get in a rabbit hole at work and I'll play these old rap songs from like back when I was like in high school and
You know what
college.
I like
Like,
about
they
AJ?
still hold up today, though, too, you know?
There's still some good talent today, but what I loved about the old school, all of them had fly lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
they all had their own gimmicks from Slick Rick. You know, nobody looked like Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody.
Right.
Uncle Ricky.
Nobody sounded like him either.
Yeah.
They all had their own stilo.
Yep.
Today, my problem is a lot of people sound alike. Like, oh, that works. I'm going to do it. Right?
Yeah. So the real reason why is because back then, Konnan, you had to have talent to get to that level. Now there are talented artists, but you don't have to be
swag.
Yeah, AJ, drop out and should come back in.
No, you.
Oh, me? I gotta come back?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one with the static.
I'm the one? That's weird.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's not true.
No, because when you went off,
that's a total fabrication. Total fabrication on your part.
No, because last time when you left, okay. So
sorry, my phone died. But the problem is back then you had to have talent.
Right.
Now you can have talent, but a lot of people, it's just about how popular you are.
Yeah, like, just how much swag you have.
Record labels today won't sign you unless you already are like blowing up on the internet.
Right. But AJ, do you think it's also if you have like a lot of swag, or it's just a personality?
Yeah, it's both. Like you can have a lot of swag, but there's a lot of artists that are popping that don't have swag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Or at least what I perceive as swag. You know what I'm saying? Like real swag. They might have that swag that the general public, who are a bunch of losers that don't know what cool really is, you know what I'm saying? They might think they're cool. Like just because you got a bunch of face tattoos and your dreads are different colors don't mean you're cool to me.
Right. And bro, and another problem that I have with today's music is that, and this is not old man yelling at clouds. I still follow hip hop to this day. You know, that's the music I grew up with from when it started, like your dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, why is mumble rap popular if you can't understand what the fuck they're saying?
Well, sometimes
it's different, or it's the beat.
It's the beat. It's just it's anti-culture. It's like people will say that they don't think J. Cole is a good rapper.
Right.
Like, and that is the dumbest statement I've. Like, if you actually listen to, people do it to me too. They'll pretend I can't rap because they're not actually listening to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I would tell you, you know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people, it's like cool to not like actual talent. Right. It's like cool to like people that aren't as good as real talented people.
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. AJ. You know that girl, Bad Body?
Bad Baby, yeah, her.
Bad Baby, yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, she's making money. There's
so much
no
money.
Way she would make it back in the day. No
so
way.
So much money. She's so much money. She's so paid. And she's making so much. She's making more money off OnlyFans than anything.
I know. That's
her OnlyFans
numbers. She paid for a house in cash.
Bro, I might start an OnlyFans. I ain't gonna hold you. They making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Is that the girl that made like $1 million the first 6 hours on OnlyFans or something like that?
Yeah,
she made like $1 million like the first 6 hours or some ridiculous like.
When she turned 18.
As soon as she turned 18,
because these guys are sickos. Right. Call me old fashioned. I like grown women.
Yeah, me too, bro. Yep. I don't like that little shit that's not developed.
How old
and it's like
no ass.
AJ, how old
as you get older?
How old are you?
33.
All right. Let me tell you something's going to happen. When you get about 35, 36, 37 years old, out of nowhere, and you're not going to know why, all these young girls are going to start hitting on you.
Girls, 18, 19, 20.
All of a sudden, young, like 20, 21 year girls. That's what I'm saying. It's
not my flavor. I like grown women. I like a woman that after I blow her back out, she can cook me a 4-course meal. That's kind of what I like.
No, but that's a great. Let me tell you, it's a great thing about an older woman, because when you go to her house, she's not playing games. She knows what time it is. You're gonna gotta be there. You know, fucking wasting your time trying to pull it. She knows what's up, right? She's gonna cook you dinner, maybe even bathe you, like you said, and usually they'll buy you gifts.
They will.
You know,
isn't it unbelievable the amount of girls today
that do not do that?
Bro, young girls want you to buy them things.
Right.
How many girls?
They're looking for a sugar daddy. Yeah.
How many girls today can't cook? That's unbelievable. Like, bro, it's so simple with Google and videos. Like, literally all you need is a clock, a stove, a pan. It's like, it's like the simplest shit in the world. Like,
I don't need a woman to be able to cook, but it's definitely a plus. It's just like women will say they don't need their man to be 6'5" like me, but it ain't never hurt.
Right.
Right.
Right. And plus, if a girl doesn't cook, it's like, okay, this girl wants the guy to do everything for her. You know, I like literally, like, you know, I would say that's a hard pass for me. You know, so
Yeah, bro,
girls,
you're on point. Women, older women is a shit.
Yeah. A woman, and when I say older, to me, I mean like anything over like 28. You know what I'm saying? She got her own place. She got her own car. You know
to
what
me,
I'm
it
saying?
starts at kind of 35.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So, are you working in TNA? Did you say you were working there?
Yeah, I am, man. What's up, man? What's up? You know, I saw the TNA AAA, you know what I'm saying, collabo. What's going on,
bro,
man?
we'll hook up. Don't worry. You're very talented, okay? They did you wrong in the WWE, but I could still see the talent. You had a video, and I don't know which one it was. Maybe Joe remembers, and we played it on the show because I thought it was so dope, and I showed it to Disco, and Disco liked it. Do you remember which one it was?
You understood?
I think it was on like a
you were doing like the Shug Knight, the Shug Knight takeoff,
kind
of like you had the cigar. It's like one of the first things you were doing that I was saying, like we were saying, why is this not on the show?
Right.
You know, like this, they're putting the guy on SmackDown. They just throwing him out there for match.
That should be your
right. Yeah. So yeah,
that should be your persona in TNA, bro.
It is.
Cigar,
and that's what I love about
glasses, the
TNA. TNA, they let me do what I want to do.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. That's the great thing. And like you'll see guys like what's this guy that just signed there too? That was in WWE. The Pakistani guy. What was it?
Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali. Okay, so he's there now. I'm thinking maybe that they talked him from AEW like they do to just about everybody. And maybe he's thinking, what the fuck do I want to go there for? You know, probably the wrestlers are telling him, bro, there's no good storylines, fucked up, but there is good money. The good thing about TNA, and I worked there many years, is that they'll make you a star, bro. They'll make you a star again. They'll sit down.
And that's my favorite thing is Tommy told me himself. He was like, you don't understand. He's like, Tommy sees in me what you see in me.
Right.
Right? And
Tommy's real, bro. He'll tell you.
Tommy is real.
Yeah.
He's very real.
Right.
So but other people at TNA, they didn't know me from a hole in the wall.
Right.
So when Tommy's trying to bring me in, they're like, oh, well, I don't know. We don't know.
See you?
And Tommy's like, just let him come in. When you see him, you see how he works. You see how he is. You'll know he'll be good over in the locker room with everybody. It'll be a cool thing. He said the first chance they get to see you, the perception about you is going to change. And that's exactly what happened. I went to TNA. It was supposed to be a maybe we do something, maybe we don't, to a I'm there every week now.
Let me ask you this.
Wow. Yeah,
let's talk a creative question. So when I started my character, I like modeled it after the Honky Tonk Man, because the Honky Tonk Man was like kind of like a comedic version of Elvis. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be kind of a comedic version of John Travolta. Mm-hmm. Do you see you doing kind of like a comedic version of Shug Knight, where it's not you're not like copying Shug Knight, but it's like the Shug Knight that thinks he's cool but he's not. Are you
first of all, I'm very fucking cool. I don't know where that came from.
No, but
he wants you to look like Shug Knight.
Second of all, I just look like him. The character that I'm actually playing in TNA was the second level of the character. See, people don't understand how much I really think about this.
Right.
The hip hop persona that came through in Hit Row was because we were a hip hop faction, and I'm good at it, and it's cool, and it's something that the company didn't have. But the next step of that company, my name was Top Dollar. People still call me Dollar. People know I played in the NFL. They know I be making money. They know I be on TV. They know I got Cheez-Its brand deals, right? So the character I am now, like what I'm doing now in TNA and what I'll be doing for the foreseeable future, is modeled after which was always going to be the next level of my character, which is the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I'm the Black $1 Million Man, right? That's my character now, right? Yeah. And because of that, I can get away with being this evil, over-the-top, absolutely in-your-face, annoying rich man, right? But what I'm saying to you is true. When I went on TNA at Hard to Kill and I said, I made my first $1 million by the age of 25, and 8 short years later, that's more than any of you broke boys will ever make in your life, that's true. Like that's a real line on a promo, and that's what pisses fans off even more. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that
think,
digs the
AJ,
knife in even more.
Right.
I get the screeners from TNA every week,
Mhm.
and I saw you in the ring doing something, and it was good. But the only thing I wanted to say to you is that I think if you're gonna be the $1 million man, you can still take for your entrance and for your vignettes, you can still take elements of Suge Knight and Rick
Oh yeah,
Ross and Rick
absolutely,
Ross,
100%.
the fur coat, the
Because that's what they
cigar,
are
the big
too.
chain,
Right.
huh?
That's what they are too. Like rappers are just wrestlers.
Right.
Like they're gimmicks, they're
Right.
characters,
Promos.
they're playing a role. Like
Yeah.
Rick Ross is trying to be like the $1 million man. He bought a plane, put his name on it, put dollar signs in the S of Ross. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Suge Knight is a character. Like he was a real life gangster.
Right.
And because of that, people know not to trifle with him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he was playing a role. Tupac was an actor. Tupac was a theater kid in Baltimore. He went to the West Coast and became a gangster because he was playing a role, right?
Yeah.
Like hip hop is wrestling. Wrestling is hip hop. That's why it meshes so well. You know that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Promos, gimmicks.
Promos,
Part of both.
gimmicks, characters,
Right.
like
Part
how
of
to
both,
get
right.
over.
Right.
Like
Yeah, like how many people in hip hop aren't being called up for like he's not really real. He's paying an image. He's not a real goon. He don't hang around with goons, you know. Okay, AJ, tell all of our listeners what you got going, where they can find you, everything that you're doing, so they can support you.
Absolutely. My new single, We Outside, is my interest music too. It's on all platforms. You can find it. We Outside, AJ Francis. It's doing really well. I got DJ Who Kid on there with me. You know what I'm saying? DJ Who Kid is a legend in the hip hop game who had me come on his show. He didn't know me from Adam. I went and spit on his show. And from that day forward, because of how dope he thought my spitting was, me and him have been very good friends. We've gone all over the world partying and working and making money together. And now we got this song together.
Yeah, I've seen him in a couple of angles. One where they left him laying and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in TNA. He just was with me in GCW this last week. Disco was mad that Joey Janela kicked out at 2. You know what I'm saying? There was a whole thing there. You know, so like I doing a lot of stuff with him. You can follow me on all social media at AJ Francis 410, Instagram, Twitter, Xbox, Twitch, TikTok, all AJ Francis 410. And yeah, man, I'm about to be doing stuff with the Pro Bowl this week. I'm gonna be in Vegas next week for the Super Bowl too. So I got a couple weeks of other than my match this Saturday at CCW versus Cha Cha Charlie, who's clearly Konnan's favorite character name ever. You know, I'll be there. Other than that, it's big football weeks for me, not really wrestling weeks for me.
Yeah,
and then I'm right back on the road. I'll be in New Orleans for TNA in the February 22nd, 23rd, I think. So I'll be there for that. It'll be a good time. So yeah, just follow along at AJ Francis 410, man. I appreciate y'all having me.
Cool, man. You know, I work in Vegas. You know, I work in club in Vegas.
Go to Vegas.
Yeah?
Go to the
Sapphire. The football players will be in the club all week long because nobody really realizes that the Super Bowl party week is like the funnest experience. And I've been to two Super Bowl party weeks. They're by far the best fun, especially when you're hooked up into all those A-list parties where all the all the Playboy girls are. I'm
going to the Maxim party.
Oh, you're going to Maxim party? Yeah, we're sending a bunch of our girls. Like we're going. I can't go, but like our club is a table there and everything too. So we've seen all the hot girls there. So
I'm looking forward to that. For sure.
If you wanna go to the gentleman's club where he works, let Joe know and he'll give you his number.
For sure.
Absolutely. Cool, man.
I'm a big fan of that idea for sure. I'll be there.
Yes.
All right, man.
Okay, and let me tell you before you leave, bro. Timing is everything, right? So once we start doing the AAA and TNA dual shows, because I booked that usually with Scott Diamore, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll put you in there, and we'll be working the future. But timing is everything.
For sure.
All right.
For sure, my man.
So let me tell you, thank you very much, AJ, for being on Keeping It 100. Boom.
Peace, brother. Thank you.
Peace.
Thanks
Yo,
very much,
hey,
man.
AJ, cool having you on. And if you ever need any advice or anything, you can hit me or Disco up. Or
I will, for sure. I appreciate you guys, man. I thank you guys a lot, man, because, when we met in L.A., or actually we met, it was Dallas, not L.A., at WrestleMania 2 years ago, Konnan, with Taya.
yes.
It was that was cool. You know what I'm saying? I did grow up a fan, so that was cool, and to know that you actually can see that the talent that I know that I have, and not listen to all the bullshit that people talk about me. I
You
appreciate
can't
you,
listen
man.
to that, AJ, because a lot
Oh,
of them
I
are
don't. I'm
a lot
saying
of them-
other people.
No, but I
do.
see you going
Right.
back and forth with them. A lot of those motherfuckers are miserable. They
Yeah.
have no life, and they're jealous, bro. You haven't done
For sure.
anything to get that hate, bro. This guy gets a lot of hate, Disco. So do I, bro. You know,
Mhm.
and so say something witty or don't say something at all. But once you fall into their trap and go back and forth, you're coming down to their level. You know what I'm
For sure.
saying?
Yeah, but if he's being
Gotcha.
a heel too, that could he could just use that.
Well, if he is,
Yeah, that's the thing, is that's one thing that I like. I did it with the other day with my move I call Tennessee whiskey, the running knee where I flip over to the outside. It's like I use these idiots talking shit as a chance for me to put this is what you think? Well, this is the actual fact.
Right.
And then all that is just eyes for me, eyes for me, eyes for me, eyes for me.
Yeah.
People keep asking me like, how are you doing all these things? Da-da-da. I'm like, bro, I'm just hustling, man. I'm a hustler. My
Right.
daddy was a hustler. His daddy was a hustler. You ain't gonna hold me down just because you want to hate on me. Guess what? I'm still.
That's what I always tell people. I was never in a gang. I was a hustler, but obviously I knew people that were in gangs, and I hung
Bingo.
around those elements. You know what
Bingo.
I'm saying?
Bingo.
And so yeah, I've been hustling since I was probably 12, dog. So I feel yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much for being on the show once again.
Appreciate you guys, man. Love
Hit us
y'all.
up if you need
Cool.
anything.
All right,
I will for sure. Peace.
Cool.
Peace.
thanks, man.